Live on the BBC, Starmer sets out government's plans after Streeting's allies say they expect him to challenge the PM. Business as usual. Business as usual, isn't it? For the Downing Street squatter, he doesn't care. Absolutely shameless. Shameless behaviour. Just before we get started with today's video, let's just wind it back to what I said 3 months ago, and it'll give you the gist of what I'm about to say today. Because I think more than any other word, shameless is the one that I've used about Starmer for the last 18 months. Well, second most popular word. I think androgynous android is more common than shameless, but you get the idea. Here's a video from 3 months ago. This rat bag will cling on like a limpet. He's completely shameless. Doesn't care what happens. Just remember, Boris Johnson, the fat albino jellyfish, he was pretty shameless, the horrible gash rat that he is. But even he had the wherewithal to walk off the job when the public was outraged about him, and all he did was have a bit of cake during lockdown. Anyway, so that's where we're at. You're probably going to have to endure Starmer for a bit longer because the man is totally shameless. He will cling on for dear life because he is a rat. Lower than a rattlesnake's ballsack, lower than a midget limbo dancer, whatever you want to pick, whatever analogy. Okay, so that's where we were 3 months ago, and it's all gone downhill from there, and he's still there, not a care in the world. And the thing is, when the guy is totally shameless, beyond shame, just doesn't care what anybody thinks of him, so certain he is of his moral righteousness, he'll never resign, never. So the only other option is, you need someone to challenge him. Need someone else to step forward and say, I'll do the job. And have you seen the Labour front bench? Lambtron, Streeting, Yvette Cooper, the Ginger Growler. Who's going to take the job? All being a leadership contender in the current... the whole of Parliament's an embarrassment. Like I said, we binned all the Jacob Rees-Moggs and the ruling classes, and we got these middle-class arseholes in there, and it's a source of constant shame to me that when the working and the middle classes got the chance, look at the pig's ear we made of it. Don't tell me you wouldn't rather have landed gentry in charge than Angela Rayner. It's unbelievable. We were better off when 12 posh families ran the entire UK. That's how bad it is. Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is, front bench looking like it does. Leadership challenge required. Every single one of them has got the IQ of a pull-along duck. Or lower, if you're on about David Lammy. Sorry, David Lammy.
If it feels like neighbourhood policing has vanished, it's not around you. We haven't seen a police while I've been here, and I've been here for a little while now.
Yeah, so further to my last video, not only am I convinced he isn't going anywhere, I think he'll stay there when they lose the next general election. I think he's going to be the official Downing Street squatter, and he's going to be like a limpet. Again, I used that thumbnail before. He's going to be like a limpet, clinging to the door of Downing Street when Rupert or Froggy, or whoever it is, turns up confused, and then they have to hire a team of burly lumberjacks to scrape him off the door. Right, so the breaking news today is apparently Wes Streeting's allies think he's going to go up against him. Wes Streeting, proper little glassy-eyed, effeminate little twink, isn't he? Wes Streeting, unbelievable. So that's the best that can muster, apparently. Nobody else is up for it. I can't blame them. The Ginger Growler really is one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in politics. She's worse than AOC. At least AOC hasn't got a speech impediment. I wouldn't trust Angela Rayner to run me a bath. Oh, sorry, Angela Rayner.
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut!
Yeah, she's unbelievable. If you asked her to take your dog for a walk, like mind it while you were on holiday, she'd feed it into a wood chipper. Is this how you walk a dog? No, it isn't. It isn't, Angela. That's not how you do it. These people are grotesque, staggeringly incompetent, and that's who we're stuck with. So yeah, there you go. Apparently Streeting is the best man for the job. The tallest dwarf in the pub, the most handsome man in the Burns unit. I don't know what analogy you want to use, But honestly, the entirety of the Houses of Parliament at this point should be a source of international embarrassment for the British people. Most of them can't string a sentence together. None of them have had a proper job. They have less than a high school kid's grasp of basic economics. It's embarrassing. And you know what the worst thing is? I think Streeting is probably the best choice, isn't he? Do you think Millipede would do a better job? I mean, at least Streeting seems to have, like, the basics of economics understood. Millipede, if you gave him 50 quid and said, there you go, son, set up a lemonade stand on the front garden, when you come back 8 hours later, he'd have somehow bankrupted you and you'd have to mortgage the house. In fact, you get back, the house would have already been sold, gypsies would be living in it, the lemonade stand would be on fire, and Ed Miliband would be eating a sausage roll out the bins across the street. Oh, Ed Miliband.
You're the first of your kind in my platoon, Steinberg. You got a problem with that? Sir, no, sir. Fall back. And keep that nose tucked in before it gets caught in a tripwire.
So, it's actually funny how bad the UK is now. It's a basket case. I'd rather have Robert Mugabe as the Prime Minister. What else have we got anyway? Keir Starmer says he has full confidence in Street. He's like openly making a play for his job. The proper, slippery, slimy, horrible, lying, backstabbing scumbags, aren't they? Every single one of them. They had a 17-minute meeting at number 10 this morning. Yeah, and he probably told him everything he wanted to hear, but the second he gets even a moment's opportunity, he'll slide a dagger in between his kidneys, then tell everyone he's his best mate. Just like the Prime Minister did with Al Jezza, didn't he? Remember when he said that? Me and Jezza are best friends. I regard him as a personal friend. As soon as it was convenient, pushed him down the stairs. Take that, communist steptoe. Laying the boot into Grandad. These people are unbelievable. And we know this. All of our political class, they would let 50 Somalian pirates plug the granny airtight. They wouldn't they? They would let Granny get the good news off every man on the migrant boat if they thought it would, I don't know, put an extra £1 in the bank account. They're just totally morally bereft. Also, King Sausage Fingers just unveiled the government's planned new laws at the state opening of Parliament. Unbelievable. We need to get rid of Sausage Fingers and, as I said, my plan, just get rid of them. Get rid of the entire family. I don't want to get rid of the institution because I'm a conservative, but all the king is a warlord who took power. We've had loads of different families in there. We can have a new one. I suggest King Mog, right? That'll piss off all the right-wingers amongst you. We've got to have a moderate. We've got to have someone who everyone can deal with. King Mog would be perfect. Have a Catholic monarch for a change. That'll please all the left-footers. And then compared to everyone on the right who we actually like, people like Rupert Law, the left will be lining up to nosh off King Mog. if the alternative's even worse. I think he can bring us all together. And because he's a typical left-footer, he's got more kids than the Waltons. The line of succession will be sorted for years. He's got so many kids. Well, that's why they haven't got a family dog. Because all his kids patted the last one to death. I think that's a Bernard Manning joke. And then here's the best bit. The Prime Minister's defended his government's record again. Again, my sides. Oh, Prime Minister, you are a cad. He never stops cracking the funnies, does he? And in the King's speech, the government set out infrastructure development, plans for legislation to reform the coppers, unbelievable, and they built a strengthened ties with the EU, despite the fact we explicitly voted against it. Brilliant. So there you go. He's going to be around a good while yet, isn't he? The man is an absolutely brazen liar. Biggest liar in political history. And that's like trying to pick the fattest lass in the all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet. It's mind-blowing. As I've told you all, you've got to just suck it up and get on with your lives. You are living in the globalist hellhole. The only man standing against it is Trumpy Bear, which is ironic because he came out yesterday slagging off the United Nations. Well, I posted about it here. Basically, the American president, who has nothing to do with the UK, is doing a better job demanding that the British government has the right to enforce the borders than our own Prime Minister. He's out there saying these globalist internationals can't tell the UK government who they can and can't deport. The PM hasn't said a word about it. Neither has anyone in his party. Neither has anyone, Rayner, Streeting, Lambtron, any of them that are even remotely interested in a leadership position, perhaps, none of them have talked about the gigantic neon elephant in the room. They won't talk about immigration. And we know why, don't we? Because ironically, Starmer's done a better job on immigration than the albino jellyfish. But he can't talk about it. He can't say, well, we've halved the numbers since Bojo, because if he does, it'll upset everybody in his own party. So it's a crazy time to be alive. Embrace the fact you're living in a globalist superstate. You're not allowed to ask for anything that'll benefit you and yours, because our leaders are as concerned, possibly more, about random people in Nigeria and Azerbaijan and Lahore and Botswana and Mogadishu. They're more bothered about people there than they are Englishmen, Scotsmen and Welshmen. It's a crazy time to be alive. But that's just my thoughts. If you think Starmer's going to suddenly have an epiphany and walk off the job tomorrow because really he's a splendid chap, let me know in the comments down below. And remember, you're obviously a mental case, so eat plenty of mashed banana before bed tonight. Not insects or human faeces. You're not supposed to eat that, mental case. Fruit and veg and water, all right? That's me for the day. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you all tomorrow. Toodle pip. Cheers.